Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk Travel. I'm here with Leah. Hey Leah,
Oh,
how's
hi.
everything?
It's beautiful. It's a little rainy today, but I'm still in Bali,
Yes,
so.
so Leah is joining us all the way from Bali, and I thank her for doing this interview on her vacation. Like, it's awesome. So, let us know a little bit about Bali. When did you get there? What have you been doing?
Um, so I've been here for about a month now. I
Oh,
came, yeah. So
I didn't
my,
expect that.
I know, me neither, because it started off as my birthday trip. I had only booked about, I think, 10 nights for
Uh-huh.
my stay in Bali. But then I just fell in love, honestly. So I was looking for like a place that I could stay long term for
Right.
that's affordable, and I found one. So I was like, well, I'm staying. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
That's amazing. So
yeah.
how much longer do you plan on staying?
I think I have 2 weeks left.
Okay.
Yeah, I have 2 weeks left. Yeah, it's just Bali has this amazing energy. People
Really?
said that and mentioned that. I was like, that's not real, but honestly, you do feel amazing energy here. And it's just like you can't do anything but self-reflect
I
and
love that.
grow. And I've done so much in these like the 3 weeks. I've done so much work and I've really focused, and I have like a vision for like the next few months, and
Mhm.
definitely give that to Bali, like Bali gave that to me.
Oh, that's so amazing. So what are some of the things that you've done? Have you done like meditation retreats or anything like that?
Honestly, no. I've never really been into meditation or yoga, but
Hmm.
it wasn't even necessary, though. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like some people come here for healing and stuff like that, and they do like the extreme meditation weeks or yoga, retreats. But
Right.
honestly, like just being here was enough for me. Um, so yeah, so I never really dove into that. Just being here,
Hmm.
the energy is just helped me a lot.
I love that. I need to check it out. Like,
Yeah.
I
No, I
really do.
definitely
Because
recommend
I'm all about like,
I recommend Bali 100%. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm all about like positive energy, positive vibes. So that's a place that I need to put on the list.
Yep.
So what do you have planned in Bali for the next few weeks that you're going to be out there?
So, the main thing that I'm doing next is I'm going to go to the Gili Islands. I think I'm actually going tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to
Oh,
the Gili
cool.
Islands. Those are those like tiny little islands off of the not this island, but the next island next to Bali.
Okay.
I'm going there. I'm gonna stay there for a few nights. It's supposed to be, they say it's like similar to the Maldives, like the
Hmm.
beautiful sandy beaches and clear water. So they kind of compare it to that. So I'm really excited for
Oh,
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yay. And I know that you're a solo traveler, so are you out there by yourself?
I am. Yep. I'm solo. I don't remember the last time I took a trip with somebody.
Oh my gosh. So what are some like other places that you've been to solo?
Okay. So I've been to a lot of places in Europe. So I've been to like London, Switzerland, Germany,
Mhm.
France, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Malta.
Wow.
Yeah.
All solo though.
Yeah. All solo. Egypt was a big one. A lot of people are like, what? When I say I went to Egypt by myself.
Oh my gosh.
That was that was a big trip. And I was there
Yeah.
for 2 weeks in Egypt. Yeah, I'm not sure if I would recommend that because
Mhm.
it's not dangerous. A lot of people think it's dangerous, but it's not dangerous. It's a lot to handle.
It
It's
is.
it's constant harassment.
Hmm.
It's just constant harassment. That's it.
Right.
It is.
Right.
So it takes thick skin.
It does. It does. I tell people when I went to Egypt, I went with my cousin and my friend, and we got scammed so many times in Egypt. And people say, like, you're a New Yorker, how did you get scammed? And I'm like, no, like, they take scamming to a whole nother level. Like, people have no idea.
They don't understand. I think the worst scam that I had was like, I was walking out of a museum, the one in Cairo, and a guy came up to me and he was wearing a business suit and he's like, hey, where are you trying to go now? And, you know, I was just trying to ignore him, of course, but he's like, no, I'm not trying to scam you. I'm a businessman. He's like, he said something about him being like a engineer. I'm just downtown having lunch. And I'm like, oh, so then, you know, that immediately changes the way that you interact. I was like, oh,
right.
You're a professional. So then I let him talk to me. And what happened is he actually led me to one of those bazaars.
Oh, where you buy my gosh.
And so he was one of those guys that get commission. So they get commission when they bring you to a shop.
Yep.
If you buy something, they get like, I think 200. I forgot what the currency was. They get like 200 from that. Yep. And like, I completely did not think anything of it because he was dressed in a full suit and
perfect in sheep's clothing.
And afterwards, I was like, damn, how did I not see that?
I know.
Oh, man.
I know. I got scammed, or we got scammed by our own tour guide. So he was taking us to like different places and he was getting his commission and stuff. And we didn't learn about it until we met with someone. He's not from Egypt, but he knows the language and stuff, and he's been there a lot of times. And he told us, we were at one of the markets, and he said, you should even watch out for your tour guide. And then everything that he did, it started making sense. And we were like, whoa, like this is crazy. So yes, Egypt, you got to be careful. It's,
Egypt. Oh man, yeah.
And you say you stayed out there for a week?
I was there for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
I started in Cairo, and then I went, I forgot where I went after that, and then I went to Luxor, and then Hurghada.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what was like your favorite city in Egypt?
Definitely Luxor. I mean, honestly, for everybody, I recommend to literally go to Cairo just to see the pyramids and then leave.
Right.
It is too aggressive.
It is
traffic is so bad. It's just dirty. It's honestly, everything is in Luxor. All the temples.
Okay.
Everything is there. They have thousands and thousands and thousands of temples. I actually met this older man at my hotel, and he was probably in his 70s. And he's like, yeah, I've been coming to Luxor for 10 years. He goes every year, and he stays for a month. And he still has not seen every single temple that there is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I was like, wow. And he's like, yeah, he probably will never be able to see all of that.
So just going back to you being a solo traveler, what inspired you to be a solo traveler?
I don't know if anything like inspired me. I think I just kind of stumbled into it. Like my first solo trip was really unplanned.
Really?
So, yeah. So what happened was like my family and I went on a vacation to Switzerland one summer, and I had told my parents, like, look, I want to go to Paris. I've been dying to go to Paris my whole life. You guys know this. Can we please go to Paris while we're there? And they're like, nope, we have this structured itinerary. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to Paris. Like,
oh my gosh.
Because Switzerland is literally a 6-hour train to Paris. So I was like, this would be crazy for me to be in Europe and not go to Paris.
Right.
You know what? So I went online, I booked the train. This was my first like hostel stay. I didn't even know what a hostel was.
Oh my God.
I didn't have money. I was broke. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to stay in this hostel, whatever that means.
How old were you?
I think it was like 22.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was an adult, but I was like 22. And so I did it. I just told my parents, I was like, hey, I'm going to Paris. I'll see you guys later. And they did not believe me. They could not believe I was actually doing that. And I did it. I went, and that was the best trip of my life. I discovered solo traveling through that. Like, I discovered that it's possible, that it was it wasn't easy, but it was possible. And it was just like, I remember just sitting there and being like, wow, I did this by myself. I could continue to do this.
Right.
You know? And that's how it happened. So after that trip, like, it opened up the whole, like, just the whole life for me. Like, it opened that door. And after that, I was like, anytime I wanted to go somewhere and nobody could go with me, I would just go by myself.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
I really do. And I look up to you for being a solo traveler, because I've never actually done it. And I know a lot of people aspire to do it. So, like, what are some tips you can give them? Like, you know, number one thing you need to know, or the first thing they should be looking up if they want to be a solo traveler?
I think the first thing that you need to look up, let's see. I mean, I know for me, what I like to do is I like to just have like a list of things, must-sees for the city. So then you always have something to do. So if you get lonely or bored, you have that list.
Right.
I always look up the safety for the country, figure out, hey, is this actually safe for me? What are the number one scams that happen here? What else? For as a woman, I kind of look up like the religion, how women are seen in that country. But other than that, not too much. There's not too much that you have to do differently, except for you just have to be prepared for the loneliness to happen. You really just have to embrace it. Like, for the beginning, I did not embrace it. I hated it. I was sad about it. There was a point where I was like, I can't do this. I want to go home. I don't want to travel alone. But that's because I wasn't embracing it. It's okay to be lonely. I had to realize, you know, you can be lonely at home just like you could be lonely when you're traveling. You know what I mean?
That's so true.
If I go back home, I'm going to be lonely there too. So you just have to embrace it and realize I'm going to be lonely some days I'm not. But other than like the safety part, there's nothing major that you have to do differently.
And as a solo woman traveler, do you typically stay in a hotel or an Airbnb?
So I've been doing Airbnbs because I've started to stay longer term. At the beginning, I did hostels because it was usually like a shorter trip. It might have been like a 4-day weekend trip or, you know, something like that. But staying for longer than a week in a hostel is very uncomfortable.
I can imagine.
So I have found that Airbnbs, you can find something for just like a few dollars more. So it's not going to break the bank. So I definitely only stay in Airbnbs from here on out. And it's honestly more comfortable. In hostels, there's guys and leave it to guys. Literally, I feel like if there's nothing else on their mind other than I'm traveling and I want to hook up with somebody.
I know. You know? Oh my gosh.
Like, is there anything else on your mind? So I was always like harassed, followed around.
Oh no.
It's like this guy would just keep popping up out of the corner. Hey, how was your day? And I'm
oh my gosh. Like, I'm not checking for you.
I'm not here for you. I'm here for this country.
Exactly.
So honestly, I know that there's some girls that really do like that. They have fun, like, you know, having flings, and no shame on that, but that's just not for me. I'm not here for that. So yeah, hostels are a no for me right now. I just like to be focused, and I just want to be kind of like in my bubble until, you know, I have moments where I want to get out of my bubble and interact, and I meet up with people. There's lots of ways the thing, like, I think a lot of people think that when you're traveling alone, you have to be alone, but you don't. Like, there's
How
so
do you
many
meet other
ways.
people?
So there's a few apps that you use. Number one is couch surfing.
Okay.
So couch surfing has an app. You can also couch surf with it, but also on the app they have this hangout section where you just go online, and then whoever's in your vicinity, you can contact each other to hang out.
Okay.
There's also like all the travel groups. Whenever I go to a location, I look up a travel group for that location. Like, so currently I'm like in like 3 different groups for Bali. There's a group that's called Women in Bali. There's another one that's called Female Solo Travelers in Bali.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then there's another one for the town that I'm in, which is Ubud. So there's always like a Facebook group.
Right.
I always join, and you can reach out and be like, hey, I met one girl already through there. Like, hey, is anybody free tonight? Or anybody want to do this or do that? So there's so many ways. I haven't really used Tinder too much. But I know there's some people that use Tinder. Like, pretty much most of the girls are on there to find friends.
Right.
So, yeah, there's so many ways to meet up with people when you travel through social media.
That's so dope. I actually never knew about that. Like, guys, like, this is really a whole entire lifestyle. Like, it really is. Yeah. So I know.
Go ahead.
No, I was actually going to say, I know that you mentioned the Airbnb being a little bit more than a hostel. So another question that people always have is, how do travel bloggers afford to travel? So like, they see travel bloggers like in one country for 1 month like you, and then the next month they're in another country, and then they're back in the US, and it's like so crazy to them. So how do you afford to travel?
Me personally, I saved money.
Okay.
For this. I knew that this is what I wanted to do. This is my goal for 2018 was to, right? Yeah, 2018 was to be a full-time traveler. So I hustled and I saved an amount to be able to do that. And then I have my YouTube. I have a small income coming in from YouTube.
Okay.
But that's just me. I'm trying to dive into the world of having different sources of income to kind of be more so of a digital nomad because my savings are going to run out.
Right.
Because that's like those travel bloggers that you see. They are usually like digital nomads. They have business going on in the background, or they have a really pop-in social media platform so they can get sponsored through that. So that's what I'm aspiring to do, to boost my social media platform so then I can also just get sponsored, if not receive actual income, like to be able to be like, hey, I will advertise your hotel or advertise this activity or your company while I'm traveling in exchange for, you know, free accommodation or even like a discount, something like that is what that's what my next move is, so I can continue to travel.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I know you're going to get there. Like, you already, you know, you'll do it. I know there's no worries there. So, by the way, like, I'm just looking at your hair and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I'm like, oh my gosh. I feel like that needs to be my next hairstyle.
Yeah, it's that new like passion twist hairstyle.
Passion twist?
Passion twist. So this is actually really new. It's been like some girl on YouTube came up with it about like 6 months ago.
Oh,
so
it's new.
It's new. It's a brand new hairstyle, and I was like, this is perfect for Bali.
Yes.
It's perfect for Bali. So I actually did it myself. It took an entire day. Yeah. But it's pretty simple.
You said it took you a day?
Yeah, it took a day because it was me, and that's just difficult. But it's the only thing is the type of hair that you use. It's like curly crochet hair.
Uh-huh.
That's curly. So it's literally just twists, but with
Right.
this curly crochet hair, and that's how it looks. So like kind of curly and messy.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I love it too. I think this is going to be like my go-to. I always do protective styles when I travel.
I was gonna ask you that. Do you usually do protective styles?
I usually do. I usually start off with a protective style, but like this has almost been in here for a month, so I'm gonna have to take them out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll probably do like twists on my natural hair and hold those in. It's always traveling while natural is so hard.
It can be extremely difficult. Yes.
So hard. I still haven't like mastered it. I'm still like trying to work through it, and I haven't found a solution, you know.
Yeah, I think the protective style though is a good way to go. Like I typically don't do a protective style. I usually just go with my natural hair, but that's only because I'm lazy. But if I wasn't lazy, I would do a protective style every time. And like I said, that's gorgeous. I love that. Yeah. You're welcome. Yes. So just back to like the financial aspect, how do you find like the best flight deals?
So I have been loyal to Google Flights.
Okay.
I have definitely tried all the other ones, Skyscanner, Hopper, Cheapo. I've tried all of those, but Google Flights continuously gives me the cheapest flight.
Interesting.
So I have just stuck with them, and it's also like the platform is so easy to use. Whenever I book flights and go places, I don't pick a location. I let the location pick me, if that makes sense.
I love that.
I go with the cheapest place. Like the reason I ended up in Taiwan was because it was the cheapest place to fly to from America. You know, I wasn't like, oh, I want to go to Taiwan. It just, as I was looking for flights, that popped up and it was cheapest. And I was like, oh, well, I'm going to Taiwan. And that's how I've kind of told some of my followers that it's so important to just be flexible. If you want to, people always ask me, how do I travel so much? It's because I save money while I travel.
Okay.
You know, I see people and they book these extravagant because it costs so much money. But the reason I've been able to do it so often is because I'm flexible, number one. If I wanted to go to Bali, but this was high season, I would have just waited. You know what I mean? I would have gone. And that's a huge money saver, is to travel out of high season. So, yeah, I just find whatever location is the cheapest. Like, so I'm going back to America in April.
Okay.
I'm gonna take like a little for probably a month. I'll be back home and then I'll start again. So, just an example, I was trying to figure out how I'm gonna get home, the cheapest route to get home. And the place that I found had the cheapest flight to America was Vietnam. Vietnam is one way to LAX for $300.
So you live in LA?
Crazy. No. But that's always the cheapest. Like you always want to fly into the biggest international airport. It's always the cheapest. So I always fly into JFK or LAX. Also, Atlanta has a big hub. So once you get to that hub, you can find a cheap domestic flight to where you live.
Oh my gosh.
So like, for example, when I looked up, okay, so Vietnam to LAX is $300. And then I'm in North Carolina right now. So LAX to North Carolina is $100. So I'm getting home for $400.
Oh my gosh, that is so smart.
If you book it all together, which I do, like I like to compare. So I booked it all together, Vietnam to Raleigh, North Carolina, $768.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So how long will it take you to get home?
So Vietnam to LAX, I believe is, I think 14 or 15 hours.
Okay.
And then, yeah, LAX to Raleigh is going to be about 4 or 5 hours.
Right.
It's going to take a little bit.
Yeah. And I feel like another popular question that I hear is, how do you get through long flights? So some people are just like, a 15-hour flight, like I could never do that. I'm going to get bored. What am I going to do? So what do you typically do to get through long flights?
I pretty much I've been doing this for a while where the night before I fly out, I stay up. So I pull in all-nighter. So I'm super tired. And then when I get on that flight, I crash. And I crash hard because I haven't slept the night before. And yeah, that's been my trick. I've done that all the time. I always just stay up. I do not sleep before I fly. I crash hard.
Right.
If I'm not able to do that, which usually I am, but just in case there's a scenario I'm not able to do that, then I just take a sleeping pill.
Okay.
And that helps. But yeah, I think the biggest key is to sleep as long as possible, because there's no amount of movies, there's no amount of books, there's no amount of games on your phone that could,
books and
there's no amount that could keep you sane on a flight for 15 hours. There's none. You need to be asleep for at least half of that. The other half you can handle. But no, you need to be asleep.
Right. So what's your longest travel time? Was it like a day, more than a day?
Oh, yeah. I think my longest travel time was probably, it took me 2 days to get to Switzerland from America when I moved. I went from LAX to Iceland.
Okay.
To London. I had an overnight layover in London, so I had to go to the hotel, and then London to Switzerland. So with like the time zone and stuff and all of that, it took a few days.
Oh my gosh.
That was exhausting.
Yes, very. And you do that because it's the cheapest route, correct?
Yeah, I got to Switzerland for I think $150.
From America?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't play with these. Like, I honestly, I will do the layovers. I sacrifice that for the flights. Like, I think it's worth it to me. I don't care how I get there. What matters is, hey, I'm here now.
Right.
Like, I'm here. I get to enjoy it. Yeah, that flight sucked. It was horrible, but that's in the past. And you know, there's just so many ways to save money, but you just have to sacrifice your comfortability. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that.
Yeah.
So they end up wasting tons of money on travel.
That's so true.
Tons of money. Like I know people want that direct flight, and they're paying almost triple for that direct flight. And I'm like,
that's true.
I don't care, you know, because once you're there, you're there.
Right. No, it's so true.
Yeah.
So do you typically, like, between I guess the place that you're getting to, between home and the place that you're getting to, do you stop at, like, when you went to London, did you explore London when you got there? Or was it just like, oh, let me find my hotel and then go back to the airport?
Unfortunately, that one, I just wanted to get there. I was on a time crunch because I had to, as soon as I got to Switzerland, I had to go to my new job. So I wasn't able to, but typically if I had a layover like that, I would have extended it, then I could experience that place as well. So that's also like a big, it's like a clip. You could book separate one-way flights to purposefully have a layover in a place. So, you know, you could have booked, if you want to get to location C, you know, you book a flight to B and then extend that period that you have there and then fly to the other place. And you're paying the same price for that ticket, but you get a free, like, not a free, but you virtually get like a 3 second vacation as a part of it. So yeah, so that's also a good trick.
Smart. So like, what's your go-to, like your favorite things to do on vacation? Like, are you a foodie? Are you a beach bum? Are you like into like nightlife? Like, what's your go-to?
I think I just like to explore.
Okay.
I've definitely discovered that about myself, is I'm not really into any one thing, but I just like to explore the place. Like there's days where I will just walk around for hours. And I highly recommend that, because if you're in a taxi all the time and an Uber, you're not able to really see that place that you are. When you're walking around, you stumble, across places that you didn't even know was like a tourist attraction, or you'll see locals doing something interesting, or whatnot. I just think like walking around is, really amazing. So I do that. Some days I just kind of walk around and explore. This looks interesting, let me walk in. Or, oh, look, there's a museum, let me walk in. So that's kind of like what I like to do. I like outdoor activities as well.
What are some of your favorite outdoor activities?
Definitely hiking is a big one for me. I love to hike or just do like nature walks. Yeah, that's actually pretty much it. I'm not I'm not an adrenaline junkie. So
skydiving and stuff.
Probably not. I mean, I will do that just because I think it's amazing, but you won't catch me like thrill seeking.
Right.
Other than one time. I do like the beach, but I can't be there for very long. I think I have like kind of a higher energy, so I can't just sit on the beach all the time. I gotta go somewhere. Yeah, no, I completely understand. And then you stay for a long time, so even if you wanted to like just take a day and relax, I think is amazing that you stay for so long, because we do need those days sometimes where it's just like, oh no, let me just chill, bring it down. And I know some people like to do that at the beach, but yeah, like what about so you mentioned hiking. What was like your best like hiking experience, and what country or city? Or I would probably have to say Switzerland. I got to hike the Alps.
Wow, that's cool.
Not the actual Matterhorn, but there's trails, there's hiking trails all around the Matterhorn. So you basically have this perfect view of the Matterhorn the whole time.
Wow.
And that was absolutely gorgeous. There's 5 lakes underneath the Matterhorn, and I did that trail, and they're beautiful. There's like one that's green, there's one that's blue, there's one and it's amazing because they all have the reflection of the Matterhorn in the water, because the water is so clear.
Wow,
it's
beautiful.
So I think that was my favorite, because I like those hikes that, I mean, I don't really like to like these hikes where you're just struggling up that mountain. It's like on breath the whole time. Like I like to enjoy the hike, so I like it to be like, I like to have a little bit of sweat going, but I don't want to be, I like it to be enjoyable, scenic,
Right.
That's the type of hike I like. Yeah.
So what about like nightlife? I recently did a video where I told my viewers the 5 nightclubs that I loved when I traveled abroad. Is nightlife your thing?
I do like nightlife, but as a solo traveler, I haven't really found a way to maneuver that yet, because it is a safety concern for me, a huge one, because it's so easy if I'm alone. First of all, people spot me out in the street. They know I'm alone. That's why like I'm always have to be on edge, because I could lie all I want. Everybody knows I'm traveling alone. You can see it. So as soon as I walk into a club, they know I'm alone. I'm a solo traveler. It's so easy to slip something into my drink. It's so easy to, I mean, who knows, like the worst, like the bad things that could happen. And
and here goes those guys trying to hook up again. Yeah.
So, I mean, I have gone out, a few happened, but like as a choice, if it's not spontaneous as a choice, I will not go to the club.
Right.
I just won't. And that's something that I kind of it's one of like the sad, like the cons, I guess, of solo travel is that I do want to experience like the nightlife in different places, but I'm just not able to right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's 100% understandable though, because it's all about your safety. So yeah, I get it. I get it. So last but not least, I want to ask you about your best travel experience and your worst travel experience. And what did you learn from your worst travel experience?
Okay, let's go. Oh, we'll do the worst first.
Okay.
My worst travel experience. Gosh, I have so many.
Really?
Yeah, I have so many. I don't even know where to begin.
I know Egypt. That was a bad one. The one that you just told us about.
Yeah, Egypt was bad. I think, I mean, yeah, we could talk about Egypt. I think Egypt was my worst. I had bad experiences there. I think that going into Egypt, I was a little bit too confident. So at that point, I had already done tons of solo travel. And, you know, regardless of all the warnings I got from everyone, I was really, really confident. And I was not prepared for what there was. But I learned a lot from that. Number one, I definitely learned that sometimes you have to do what you don't want to do to be comfortable. Like, for example, everybody told me you need to just do tours when you're there. You can go there alone, but you need to hire a tour, book a tour, so then you're around, you have a tour guide. I was completely like stubborn. I was like, I don't know how to do it. First of all, I tour myself. So that would have really helped my experience a lot, is to have been a part of a tour group, regardless of how much I dislike tours.
Yeah.
Would have been really helpful, and I should have listened, and it would have made my experience better. So you just have to, definitely I learned that not every place is able to be completely explored, completely 100% solo. You can't be solo, but you might just need a little bit of assistance. Definitely. So I have learned that when I go back to the Middle East, I will definitely make sure to keep that in mind and book tours so I'm not always alone.
Yeah.
So that was a learning experience. Yeah.
So what about your best travel experience?
Italy was amazing.
Okay.
I did Italy. I did Rome and Florence, and that was really amazing because that was when I met other solo travelers the most there, and that really helped me to realize that, oh, so you travel alone, but you don't have to be alone. So that was an important lesson for me that helped me to continue to travel solo. And I met an amazing group of girls in my hostel, and we actually stay in touch to this day.
Oh, I love that.
We still talk like on Instagram almost every day. It's really awesome. So
where are they from?
They're from Australia.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And have you seen them since Italy?
I haven't. We keep missing each other. It's kind of funny. Like, we'll be in a country and then I'll be there and then they'll be there like the month later. So but that was just so just inspiring to me, and it really just helped to push me out the door. And whenever I felt lonely, I knew that I wasn't alone and that I could find people to hang out with. And Italy was just Italy as well. Italy was amazing. Just, going there on my own was still awesome. That was that was probably like maybe the fourth trip solo that I did. So I was still really new. I was proud of myself for being able to like navigate their transit systems. Like that's always like, it makes me proud whenever I'm able to navigate by myself. Everything is like in a foreign language. Italy was great.
And I hear the food in Italy is amazing.
Absolutely amazing. I think one of the best moments was I found the place where fettuccine Alfredo was created.
Oh my gosh. Was it in Rome or Florence?
It was in Rome. It was absolutely amazing. They make Alfredo in front of you. They bring all the ingredients to the table and they make it.
Oh my goodness.
That's how they made it at the beginning. And oh gosh, they brought it all. Cream, the fresh cheese, everything. Oh God. Yeah.
That
it was
sounds
amazing.
so. I just made fettuccine Alfredo yesterday. I'm sure it was nothing like that, but that sounds good.
That was one of my best memories from Rome is that food. Oh gosh, the Alfredo was fresh and amazing. Yeah. That food, that's still the best pizza I've ever had in my life. Like,
oh my gosh.
The pizza will never compare. The toppings that they have is just ridiculous. I think my favorite pizza, they had this pizza with potatoes on top. It was like garlic, and they have the craziest toppings that you wouldn't even think to put on a pizza, but that's like, it's not like a crazy thing for them. That's like the usual. That's like the usual pizza that they have. Those toppings, it's just absolutely incredible. Yeah, gosh.
Oh my gosh. And pizza is like my thing. Like I love pizza. So yeah, I think I have to make that trip. I think I have to do that.
Yeah, you gotta try it.
Yes. So before I let you go, I want to play a little game.
Okay.
It's going to be how many questions can you answer in 30 seconds? So it's how many travel questions you can answer in 30 seconds. So I'm going to start the timer. And it'll be like Family Feud, like the timer won't start until I ask the first question.
Okay.
Okay. So you ready?
I think so.
It's not hard questions. All right. Ready and go. All right. What is your favorite city?
Chiang Mai in Thailand.
Okay. What is your favorite country?
Thailand.
What's a place you dream of visiting?
The Maldives.
Okay. Rome or Greece?
Rome.
Dubai or Egypt?
Egypt.
Best food you ever had while traveling?
Probably cow soy.
What was it? The timer went up. What was it?
It's called cow soy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Thai food.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Leah, for providing so many amazing travel tips, for agreeing to interview with me. So please tell everyone how they can find you on social media and your travel blog.
Of course. So I have a website. It's www.traveleah.com, just one L. Traveleah is also my hashtag or my tag for YouTube. It's youtube.com/Traveleah. On Instagram, you can also search Traveleah. I should pop up. And that's pretty much it. But all my links are on my website. So as long as you get to my website, you're good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Leah. And thank you to everyone for watching. For more videos on travel bloggers, please please subscribe, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye, Leah.
Thank you.
Thank you.